Greetings, I'm Tim, welcome to our channel, and thank you for logging on. Today, I will walk you through the proper usage and care of your FP Journe Octa Automatique Reserve, a timepiece that can be wound 3 different ways. The first and most basic is to take the crown in its first position flush to the case and turn it in a clockwise direction. Approximately 3 dozen turns will be sufficient to start the watch. That will get the balance beating, and at this point the second winding methodology can be brought into play. The automatic winding system. You can see the case back rotor oscillates as the wrist moves, energizing the watch. If you can't wind your watch manually or wear it on a regular basis, it is advised that you set a watch winder to turn 274 times per 24 hours and that the watch be set to turn in a direction corresponding to counterclockwise as you are facing the dial. So if the watch goes into the watch winder backwards, you're going to want it to turn in a direction relatively clockwise as seen from the back. So regardless, you want to make sure that you correspond to counterclockwise from the dial side or clockwise from the case back side. 274 turns per 24 hours. The watch has a 120-hour chronometric power reserve, which means it can run longer. To exhaustion, it may run as long as 7 days. However, 120 hours is the period during which FP Journe vouches for the performance of the watch. There are several ways to set the timepiece. The first and most basic is the time setting function, and you will note that pulling the crown out 2 stops allows you to move the hour hand and the minute hand. In general, to synchronize to a reference time, it's best to look up an online reference such as an atomic clock for your time zone, and then because the timepiece does not feature stop seconds, wait until the seconds hand is approaching the index at 60 and keep the minute hand set to the correct hour, but keep the minute hand just short of the correct minute. So you're going to wait for your reference time to reach the index at 60 with the seconds display, and as it approaches 60, you're going to slowly creep the minute hand forward to the correct hour. By turning the crown counterclockwise, you can see how precisely I'm able to move that minute hand. And as my reference time approaches 60, and I'm about to synchronize my watch to the reference, I have the hour set, I'm about to set the minute, the seconds hand is approaching 12, now I move it forward just a small increment, and I've synchronized the watch to a reference time. I can also set the date by pushing the crown in and pulling it out 1 detent from even, and then by turning the crown in this middle position in a counterclockwise direction. That'll allow me to quick set the date. There are 3 primary hazards that your watch will face: water, magnetism, and shock. Water is the most important because it can have the gravest consequences and the most expensive. Though the watch is 30 meters water resistant, leather, as seen on the strap, is a natural porous material that is never water resistant. So always ensure that the leather is kept remote from water, and if you know that your watch is going to come in contact with moisture, use the pull tab spring bars on the underside of the strap to remove the strap from the watch and replace it with a water resistant band. Always dry leather immediately if it should become moist. The timepiece, 30 meters water resistant, is protected from inadvertent rain exposure or splashes while washing one's hand, but you can only ensure that it is a 30-meter watch if you follow 2 precautions. First, avoid accidental drowning. Don't try to wind the watch or set the time while the watch is submerged or even when there's water on the case, as this can bypass the seals. Furthermore, it's important to remember that water resistance is not a static quality of a watch. Over time, as seals age and lubricants degrade, the timepiece will be relatively less water resistant. Therefore, FP Journe recommends having the watch checked at an authorized service center to ensure water resistance is retained, and do this on an annual basis. Finally, if the watch should come in contact with water mixed with high-powered purifiers such as chlorine or bleach, or if the watch should come in contact with cosmetics or even salt water, immediately clean it with a small amount of moist fresh water on a damp soft rag, and then ensure that the watch is fully dried afterwards. Magnetism is ubiquitous in daily life. It's in the closures of wallets, purses, and refrigerator doors. It's present in speakers and subwoofers, MRI equipment, as well as high-powered personal electronics. Its effect is to magnetize the ferrous hairspring at the center of your watch's balance. A magnetized hairspring will cause the watch to run erratically. It may run quickly, it may run slowly, but if you suspect, due to erratic running, that your watch has become magnetized, take it to an authorized FP Journe service center where specialized equipment is available to quickly and easily demagnetize your watch. Concussion and shock, however, can cause graver damage. They can eject sapphires on either side of the watch, compromise case sealing, or even do sufficient damage to the movement to stop it and necessitate repair. Therefore, FP Journe recommends you discontinue use of the watch during concussive activities such as batting, tennis, golf, the riding of ATVs or mountain bikes, or firearms marksmanship. Finally, per FP Journe, every fine timepiece requires a comprehensive intervention or overhaul roughly every 4 years. This should be performed exclusively at an FP Journe factory service center where trained personnel, dedicated tools such as those dedicated to the unique Holt head screws on the caseback, and factory replacement parts are available to protect the value of your watch as both instrument and as investment. Moreover, only these agencies authorized by the factory are able to bless all labor and parts invested with a factory service warranty. Finally, it's important to note that FP Journe bestows a 2-year factory warranty on every watch purchased new from an authorized dealer. But if registered on fpjourne.com within 30 days of purchase, the warranty can be extended to 3 years. Visit our website at govbergwatches.com and call, text, or email our experts who will be happy to walk you through every phase of the usage and care of this or any FP Journe fine timepiece.